Getting the keys to a rental car in a new country usually feels like the start of an adventure. But if you're planning to drive in the UK for the first time, you need to understand exactly what you're merging into. The British road system operates on a very specific set of priorities. It values absolute pedestrian safety and clear legal liability far above your convenience as a driver. Beyond the spatial switch to the left, drivers must navigate a zero-tolerance legal and bureaucratic framework that governs every mile of the network. The Highway Code acts as the official legal foundation for road safety. It sets out the mandatory rules and safety instructions that provide the basis for all traffic law in the UK. Understanding this strict system before turning the ignition is the reliable way to avoid heavy fines and legal consequences. How you approach these rules depends entirely on what kind of driver you are. Are you a visiting tourist renting a car for the week, or an expat planning to buy one? A tourist faces little paperwork, while a resident takes on massive liability. Short-term renters face behavioral risks, mastering spatial rules and zero-tolerance laws. Long-term owners manage those, plus heavy financial risks tied to vehicle compliance, MOT inspections, and required documents. Defining your specific driver profile maps out the exact level of legal liability you need to prepare for and helps filter out the anxiety you don't need to carry. Let's start with the spatial mechanics. You must keep the car on the left side of the road, operating a vehicle where the steering wheel is mounted on the right. Speed limits are strictly enforced and always measured in miles per hour, not kilometers. If you are in a town, city, or residential street, the standard limit is 30 miles per hour, unless marked otherwise. When you approach an intersection, you will frequently encounter a roundabout instead of traditional traffic lights. This flowchart illustrates the strict logic for navigating them safely. You enter turning left, immediately look right, yield to any oncoming traffic, move clockwise around the center, and signal left to exit. The golden rule is give way to the right. You must stop and yield to any cars coming from your right already circulating in the roundabout. Apply your left indicator just after you pass the exit before the one you want. The roundabout requires a high degree of initial mental processing from the driver, but in exchange, it maintains vastly superior continuous traffic flow compared to a red light. Mastering this spatial recalibration is the absolute prerequisite for participating efficiently in the UK's road network. Beyond the flow of cars, the UK system enforces absolute right-of-way for pedestrians in built-up areas. If you approach a crossing marked by these flashing yellow globes and striped poles, called a zebra crossing, and someone is waiting, you must come to a complete stop and let them cross. When you do encounter traditional traffic lights, red means a total stop. Unlike in some jurisdictions, you can never turn on a red light. Inside the cabin, there are zero-tolerance behavioral rules you must observe, starting with a complete ban on mobile phones. It is illegal to hold or use your phone while driving. Even picking it up while your car is stopped at a red light will trigger a heavy fine and a potential driving ban. Drinking and driving carries incredibly severe penalties. The legal limit is aggressively low. The only truly safe standard to adopt if you are operating a vehicle is zero alcohol. The police do not leave room for gray areas. Any infraction of these behavioral rules results in immediate penalties, regardless of your intent or your status as a visitor. The UK driving environment demands hypervigilance. It explicitly removes driver convenience in order to ensure maximum pedestrian and traffic safety. If you live in the UK and decide to own a car, your liabilities multiply. You face the absolute legal necessity of maintaining your documents. Insurance here is highly specific. A policy is tied directly to both the exact vehicle and a specific named driver. You cannot legally hop into a friend's car to run a quick errand unless your name is explicitly on their insurance policy. You must also pass an MOT test. This is an annual, mandatory safety and environmental inspection required for most vehicles over 3 years old. This table outlines MOT test outcomes. Testers check emissions, lighting, and verify tires meet the strict 1.6 mm minimum tread depth. A dangerous fault means you fail. The vehicle is immediately grounded. Conversely, minor and advisory faults mean the vehicle passes, but must be monitored. Crucially, an MOT is not a mechanical vehicle service. It confirms your car meets road safety standards, but it ignores the engine, clutch, and gearbox. A passing MOT certificate does not mean your car won't break down tomorrow. For residents, maintaining legal vehicle compliance is a heavy, recurring financial burden. It significantly raises the cost of ownership and drastically changes the math on whether buying a car is actually worth it. The UK road system offers incredible safety and continuous flow rates, but it demands strict behavioral and mechanical compliance in return. If you are a visiting tourist, your checklist is purely operational. Master the roundabout sequence, match the exact MPH limits, and maintain a strict zero-phone, zero-alcohol environment in the cabin. For short-term renters, the experience centers on the immediate mechanics of driving, bypassing the multi-layered paperwork and compliance inspections required for long-term vehicle ownership. If you are a resident, look at the right side of this blueprint. Never put your car in gear unless your document triad, a valid license, vehicle-specific insurance, and paid road tax is perfectly aligned. Treat the annual MOT as a hard legal deadline. You must confirm you hold a valid VT20 pass certificate before risking a drive. Missing it by a single day can result in a £1,000 fine and invalidate your insurance. The Highway Code and the MOT test are rigid systems designed to protect millions of commuters every day. They do not bend for mistakes, and they certainly don't bend for excuses. Strict adherence to these rules allows for seamless participation in one of the safest road networks in the world. Attempting to bypass them guarantees you will face severe legal and financial consequences.